What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on another glorious and well-deserved day off. And today we're going to take a look at the 10 gray man truths, some of which are uncomfortable. For those of you that don't know kind of what's going on, there's been a few videos that have come out here recently where I talked about some gray man travel stuff, some tips and advice there, as well as gray man theory and talking about how we actually do that in modern society. But I promised everybody there would be a last video that would be a good reference guide for you to come back to that could give you this information, just you looking for it. So that is my 10 gray man truths. There's always some bonus stuff in here because I feel like that stuff's important. Number 1, no one can see that you're printing. This is a terrible thing that happens mainly to new gun carriers or guys when they get a new gun or a new holster. They are terrified that everybody can see that thing. Nobody can see that you're printing. The only people that pay attention to that stuff are predators and other protectors. One of those you're okay. The other one is just going to view you as not an easy threat and probably not screw with you at all. If you're curious about more of that, go see this video, which is the Greyman video itself. Number 2, you are no longer in Kansas, Toto. I understand that maybe where you live, you could do X, Y, and Z, and you could act this way, and people didn't take any offense to it. However, you are now in the Bronx in New York, and that dude with the accent is going to beat your ass. That is just... that is rampant, man. Like everywhere you go. It's really, really bad when you go overseas because Americans are entitled and we feel like everybody should cater to us because we're Americans. 2 world wars, right? However, you're not in Kansas anymore, man. You need to adapt to the location you're in, either in your mannerisms, the way you act, or lean into that tourist role because it gives you it immediately portrays you as somebody who's being vigilant and has awareness to what's going on because you're taking pictures of stuff. And it also gives you a reason to be places. But if you can't blend in for whatever reason because of where you're at, like for me, an example is when I go to LA, I don't fit in LA. I'm pretty sure I am known to the state of California to cause cancer. So I avoid LA, but when I have to go to LA, I will lean in more into the tourist role because that tourist role gives me a reason to be places that I am in. It gives me a reason to have the things that I have. It also enables me to ask dumb questions I wouldn't be able to ask normally. But more than anything, I can adapt that with my level of awareness and how I carry myself to just make me not somebody to be trifled with. So that is a very important tip. You're not in Kansas anymore. You need to act accordingly for wherever it is you're gone. Don't go to some place that you've never been before and has nothing to do with your ideals that you come from and expect them to conform to you or you to blend in. Figure it out. Number 3, footwear is the absolute most important decision you're ever going to make when it comes to your gray man stuff. Because if your dumbass just wore flip-flops to walk around the mall in like Detroit, I don't even know if they have them all in Detroit anymore. That's sad. Anyway, so let's say you're there and you're rocking some flip-flops because that's just what you do, my friend. You like flip-flops. And then you get into a fight with 3 entrepreneurial thugs that are ready to take your money and everything else. And all one of them's got to do is stomp on your foot. Footwear is important, man. You need to be able to run and fight in footwear. So make good choices for footwear, man. Flip-flops are never the answer. Ain't nobody want to see your hairy toes. I mean... Maybe you can do a step and mashed potatoes thing, but like I don't want to see it. Number 4, ignorance of a law is not a defense. 100% this applies to this. It also, consequently, applies to like knives and stuff. I know, like, so right now, if I am living here in Nebraska, I can carry this all day long. I could open carry it, I could concealed carry it. It doesn't matter because we're a constitutional carry state. However, if I go to Colorado and I come across one of like the 3 law enforcement officers in the entire state that will uphold their 15-round mag capacity rule, and I've got a spicy 17 with a 22 as my spare, well, guess what I just did? I just got into all kinds of freaking trouble. And we'll say I didn't know any better. Nobody cares. You're still going to go to jail. Like, it's that whole thing. It's like And there's sometimes it's incredibly unfair. Like you have people that have flown into New York, they ended up getting laid over and they forced them to take their baggage. They were never supposed to be in New York. They were simply changing planes. For whatever reason, they got delayed. They offloaded the baggage and forced them to take it. So they had to now leave the airport and stay in one of the hotels next to the airport, only to come in the next day to check in their stuff. And they are traveling with ARs and stuff, which are illegal there because they're un-American in that city. And now those people are going to go to jail. That is a real thing. It has happened, and it wasn't that long ago. And that poor guy went to jail and ended up fighting, 6 figures to fight his way out of it, and he didn't get crap for it. Don't expect people to do it. Your ignorance of what things are going on, and even a bad situation that you never intended to be in, and you actually specifically took effort to move around it, that's a problem. That's why typically when I fly, if I've got stuff that's going to go to places that is not a friendly state, I will make sure that I have like 10-round mags or stuff on me, and I will ship in my bigger mags to the place I'm actually going to, because I still have some mags I can do some work with. But if I get stuck in New York and I have to check my bags in the next morning, I'm also not going to go to jail for it. Number 5. And this is a great life lesson, not just a Greyman life lesson, and that is do not go to stupid places with stupid people and do stupid stuff. Those things are a surefire way to just get your life jacked up, man. Like, if you run up into the ghetto in, like, London and somebody slices you up like a Christmas ham because you went a dumb place with dumb people, even if you didn't want to do dumb stuff, like, you violate any one of the 3 dumb rules, you're on your own. Like, it's not a good idea. Don't do it, man. Avoid that crap like the plague. Don't go stupid places with stupid people and do stupid things, right? As long as you don't do any of those 3, and the more of them you add together, the less likely you are to live through it or not go to jail. I like this one, which is appearing lost is better than appearing to be a threat. If I am in a place and I need to get out of that situation pretty well, and I can portray myself as a lost tourist who isn't a threat, I stand a much better chance of getting help or getting away from where I am at with the good information than I do if I appear to be a hyper-aggressive, paranoid person with a camera. Just food for thought. Number 7, neutral colors and even better patterns will always be superior to brighter colors when it comes to your clothing. So think of tans, grays, greens, olive greens, darker blues like navy blues or that steel blue color, stuff like that, as opposed to red, really blue, right? You start wearing some of these colors and you run into the other side effect that if you're in places like California, you wearing like a blood red shirt is a really stupid decision depending on where you're at. You may not even know where those lines are because you're not from there. Again, you're traveling. Same thing with wearing a blue shirt. You can get jacked up for that. Even black is not really safe anymore. There's a lot of colors. There's a lot of gangs. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens because people are wearing the wrong color at that particular time at that location. Nobody has a gang that runs like tan or gray or, olive green, right? Earth tone, more neutral colors, and not so much vibrant stuff really helps out, right? I'm also the same way. Like, I am not opposed to having like some of that fluorescent green on like a backpack or my boots because it helps to break the connotation that I am tactical looking and I'm just an outdoorsman going to hike a trail somewhere because, well, who would wear those boots if they were super secret squirrel, right? Number 8, fall and spring are absolutely your ally. If I can plan my trips, travel, anything that I'm going to do, even visiting cities I don't particularly like Omaha, if I'm going to visit those places that I can plan that stuff around spring and fall, the likelihood of me carrying a much larger firearm to solve problems with, as well as spare magazines and some, hell, even bigger stuff if I want to, even a spare pew-pew, the odds of me being able to conceal that and draw absolutely zero attention to myself because Carhartt don't print, baby, is really high. And that is particularly effective in the spring and fall months. Even in the southeast where I'm from, when we get into fall and stuff, like you can wear jackets, you can hide all kinds of stuff on your person. That is an excellent way to have more equipment on you and not draw attention to it. So I try to plan my stuff around spring and fall, or at least travel to a place that allows me to wear a jacket. You ain't going to catch Uncle Freedom on a beach. Ain't gonna happen. Number 9, people underestimate just how well walking casually can hide you in public. This is like a glitch in the matrix. It is probably one of my favorite tips. If I am in New York City and I don't blend in with anybody and I know nothing about where I am at, and I somehow found myself in a situation where this dude wants me done, right? And that's where I'm at. And I round a corner as I'm kind of running away from him. What is easier to spot? The dude sprinting frantically in an environment in which nobody else is sprinting frantically, or the dude that rounded the corner and just stepped off to a normal walking pace and blended in with the flow of traffic that he was walking in? You want to, like, people running draws your attention. I will tell you right now, as a cop, if I see you sprint across the street in the dark, me and you gonna talk in just a minute. I'm like, hey man, I'm just making sure you ain't the cause of that building alarm that's going off, right? Like, other than that, you want to go for a run, do your own thing. But if you want to avoid extracurricular attention when you're moving through a place or trying to evade, walk. Walk casually, man. There ain't no reason for you to run. Ain't nobody else running around you, because you running, you immediately look like the dude I need to talk to. If you just walk, works every time. Number 10, if it doesn't look right, it's usually not. And this goes to that whole thing, like if it sounds too good to be true or the deal's too good to be true, it probably is. Same thing, right? If it feels off, it's probably off. Our bodies are really finely attuned at not letting us die. That's kind of like the whole purpose behind the system and the way it works. So if it feels wrong and it feels off, probably is. I would find somewhere else to be. Or at least be finding an avenue to get out, right? That's where that awareness thing comes in. Bonus point number 1, nobody is coming to save you, man. And this gets more and more true depending on where you go. You know, if you're in Nebraska, you're not really on your own. People here will help you. If I'm in downtown LA after dark, probably on my own, man. But nobody's going to come. Expect the self-rescue, man. If you don't have the means and capabilities between your hands, fists, things you can find, and the armament you should be carrying, as well as your shoe and boot selection and choice, and your previous knowledge of the place that you went to visit because you were smart enough to read up on it before you got there, you can mitigate all this stuff if you just do that little bit of homework beforehand. Bonus point number 2, mind your business. You want to know how you stay out of trouble and don't jack yourself up in an environment that you are unfamiliar with? Mind your business, right? I tell you right now, if you're walking through, like, this really happened a lot in Alabama. You walk through some of the ghetto areas in Alabama that were kind of gang control, and you heard these words, hey man, let me holler at you. Don't walk over there. Mind your business. Just walk on, man. Because here's the thing, you go over there, they're going to rob you. I guarantee you. That's where things like those headphones come in handy with the active listening capability, because I have a reason on the outside to not be responding to you. And you can see that, right? And that's going to force you to come after me, which gives me an advantage because I can now set the stage of how I want to do this. However, like, if I turn around and go, what? I engaged with you, all bets are off. Mind your business, man. Just keep on moving. I have been on more than one New York subway where I just kind of sat there and, like, I could see the reflection of my phone, what was going on in front of me, but my ass was definitely looking like I was doing something else because I didn't want to be no part of what was going on in front of me. So mind your business. If it looks weird and you ain't ever seen nothing look like that before because you come from a very church-going Southern background and you are in a very cultured and like sheltered lifestyle, and you get over to California and there's some weird shit happening, like in a bus stop, best thing you can do is mind your business. Just keep on walking, right? I'm not talking about like ignoring a violent crime that's taking place. There's some stuff that happens at night in some of these places, man. You just better off mind your business and walk on. Bonus point number 3, if you have to pick, appearing harmless is always better. It is always better than appearing to be hostile. If you can project the outward appearance to a person who you have somehow crossed and they are mad as hell at you, and you can appear to them harmless and de-escalate the situation by using verbal judo and understanding kind of like the way the OODA loop works, and keep your hands up, hey man, just step off to the side, hey man, I don't want any trouble, just move around a little bit, keep jacking up their OODA loop. Talk to them in a calm and soothing manner, right? Keep your hands up. This is a fighting stance. If you can't tell I'm in a fighting stance, you deserve to get your ass kicked, right? But appearing to be harmless and compliant and de-escalate the situation will always be better than if that dude screams something at you and your 12-year-old brain triggers and you're like, I must defend my honor. You're going to die. You're going to get killed by like the 9 other people he had with him that you didn't even know was in the same freaking corner as you. If you can appear harmless, compliant, keep your hands up, talk to them, move around, jack up their OODA loop, be able to verbally de-escalate the situation or at least make it more trouble than they're willing to do, I don't care, man. Come up with something about how you dropped your Reese cups and you was just trying to find your Reese cups because you was really hungry and you really need them Reese cups because you're a fat kid at heart and you had to sneak that shit because your wife was going to kill you if you ate any more Reese cups. And damn it, I just trying to eat my Reese cups, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to mess with you. My bad, man. I'll just move on, right? If you can de-escalate a situation, you will not die a lot more frequently, right? Like that is a thing. However, if you can't de-escalate a situation and your immediate response is that of a 12-year-old boy who must defend his family's honor, you gonna get killed, man. Like, the world is an unsafe place. You should take these. Like, the world is not safe. Take this with you as you go, man. It's a dirty trip. However, doing some research ahead of time, making sure we make good decisions in footwear and the way we portray and act and the way we do things and our mannerisms and how we portray ourselves to other people can keep you alive a very long time. So guys, there you go. There is my 10 gray man truths and tips. Hopefully you found these helpful and it's a good video that you can go back and learn some stuff from. But take care of yourself, take care of each other, and until next time, I'll see you later.